Okay. Give it a few seconds here to make all the final connections. It does look like we are live. There, we are now live. I want to welcome everyone to Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. And let me get this in here. We are using a program called StreamYard for this live broadcast. Now, StreamYard and Facebook have this privacy issue. They want to make sure each one has permission to view the other. Therefore, if you would like to join us, please, we would love to see your comments in the comments below. But if you have not given StreamYard permission to see your Facebook name, you will come across as an anonymous viewer. That's okay, but we really want to talk to you. So if you would just flip over to another tab, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and grant permission. Then when you make a comment below, we'll be able to address you personally. After all, this is a conversation with friends. Come on.
It's actually listed right above too. When we're going live, I see it. So that's great. So we have it going across and we also have it lifted above. Good morning. Great to see everybody this morning. And if you would like to join us, join in and let us know that you're here.
This is Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. I am Terry Ann, life coach, TA. I help to defeat those lies of negative self-talk by finding new perspectives, allowing you to see there's new possibilities out there, which will open up new pathways onto which you can proceed. And my co-host is...
Good morning. I'm Sherry Berger, and I'm the owner Here to There Consulting, and we educate business owners with tools to balance life, business, and finances. Because my mission is to help you create the life and business that you love. Because if you dream it, live it, you could be it. So anyway, I'm Sherry Berger, and I want to welcome you today. And what are we going to talk about today, Terry Ann?
Today, our topic is, how is your Thanksgiving different this year? I don't know about you, but things aren't going quite the way they have the last few years. We have these traditions. We have these little formats of we do this, and this, and all of a sudden, we are doing this stuff this year. How is your Thanksgiving different this year?
But even saying we do this, right? I mean, we usually do Thanksgiving dinner and then we go over to my mom's house. Well, sometimes the kids claim we take a nap in between and then we'll end up over my mom's house. And right, because then you can go out and visit. And then a lot of people do, friends Thanksgivings, and maybe they're not doing that this year. So it's a lot different. I'm not sure if we're going to actually be I might have a couple kids come over, maybe. But like I told my husband, what's going to happen if it's just us for Thanksgiving? I mean, that'll be different, right?
Definitely.
I know this weekend we're trying to get all 4 of our kids, God willing, together, but that will be our holiday, our Christmas, our Thanksgiving all in one. I know people always have that argument about when you should put your tree up, right? We always put it the day after Thanksgiving. Well, this year we will be putting it up on Thursday. And that's a week before Thanksgiving. And so I think you said, let's just focus on Thanksgiving and how that's different. But I think that's really hard when a lot of people are doing maybe one holiday for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Or I've heard some people are maybe just doing it with just them. Right? Mm-hmm. I do know I have good news, Terry Ann.
What's your news?
Zoom has lifted for like 3 days for Thanksgiving. They're letting people have more than that 40-minute limit.
Oh, for the free account?
Yeah, for the free accounts.
Oh, wonderful.
Thing. And I think that's great news. And I think it needs to be spread more. I know I had a couple friends out there sharing it even because some people are doing Thanksgiving on Zoom, Terry Ann. Have you heard that? How are you guys doing Thanksgiving? What is up with you?
Oh, I tell you, our Thanksgiving is up in the air. We have had 2 cases of COVID within our family.
Yes.
Now, it's all over. They're well, back to work, everything is fine, but it adds that extra sense of, do I want to get together? What if there are lingering effects? My daughter said, Mom, I would hate to be the one to get your mother sick. My mother is in her 80s. I would hate to be the one to get her sick. She's a healthy woman, but I don't want to be the cause of it. Other family members who, have some health issues. Okay, what if we don't want to take any chance? We don't want to be the one to infect. I've not had it, but what's to say? You wake up one morning, you got it. So we're making plans. But I got to tell you, I've already decorated my house, and my house is filled with signs that say, be grateful, it's Thanksgiving. I have images, I have turkeys up. I have my Christmas tree up. I have on one of my Christmas trees, I have autumn decor in it.
Wow.
I like the decoration. I like the lights. I'm getting depressed. I have a 10.5-foot table that it typically has 10 to 12 people around it every week for small group. I got to where I couldn't walk in that room anymore because it's depressing to see that huge table and nobody is sitting at it. So I finally took the leaves out and I made it smaller. I put more decorations out. So when I walk in that room, I've got something to smile about.
That's a good way to change your perspective. Hey, we have people that have joined us. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Rachel. Great to see you guys. How is your guys' Thanksgiving or holiday going to be different this year? If you guys would comment that, we would love for you to share as well. And yes, Ann, I don't think you're the only person that's struggling, right, with being depressed because things.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's about having us to change our perspective and figure what we can do now.
Yes, you have to do. We can't change the fact that the pandemic is here. We cannot change the fact that there are shutdown orders, there's guidelines, there's limits to gatherings. We can't change any of that. The only thing we can change is our attitude and our perspective. So what are you doing? What are our people doing here? Well, Facebook user who hasn't given permission for a name says mine will be normal. What is normal? Define normal for me.
Yeah. I'm not seeing this on our streamline. I'm seeing it on my Facebook. There's 8. Oh, there you go. I see them now. Okay.
I think one thing and I tell you what, I'm probably going to end up gaining 10 pounds over Thanksgiving because we're not going to have that usual one dinner. Oh. I know of at least 2 or 3 dinners we're going to have because we're going to meet, instead of the big family, it's going to be little smaller groups, which means more food, which means I'm going to have to get out those elastic waisted pants for sure. Holidays are bad enough, but when you got that many meals coming up, no sense in even trying. Diets are out the window.
Somebody said yay. Somebody said yay for Zoom. And remember, I was talking about that a lot of people are going to be meeting on Zoom.
That's interesting.
Debbie was saying yay for Zoom.
Huh. I wonder why they're not coming across where I can see this. This is interesting.
Up at the corner, I had to put comments so that I could see them. And sometimes I'm feeling like I'm freezing this morning. I mean,
yes, you are. You're freezing a few times. I've lost you a few times, but that's okay. You're joining us. Hi, Linda. Good to see you.
And it could be because I got my green screen going. That could be the whole problem.
Oh, that could be a lot of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Linda, I haven't talked to you in a long time. How is your Thanksgiving changing this year? You're not going to be able to have big family gathering. I'd love to hear how yours are. And you too, Debbie. How is your Thanksgivings changing? One thing I know, my grandparents, I'm thinking a lot right now of the elderly. Now, my grandfather just passed away 2 years ago, 6 weeks before his 107th birthday, still living in his own home. He still wanted to continue with the holidays in his home. I don't know that we would have been able to explain to him why the family could not all be there like he is accustomed to.
Oh,
And I
that's been a
really
real,
feel,
that's
I
been a
really
real
feel for
problem.
those.
I know
Mhm.
my mom started calling me last week to ask me if I was coming over Thanksgiving. I go, Mom, Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away. And I usually come over for pie later, Mom. But I thought that was interesting that Mom was already, so she must have been watching the news, right?
Yes.
I don't know where she was getting this from. But yeah, if people would let us know. I want to know Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is, how how theirs is being.
I would love to know how
Normal.
theirs is going to remain normal.
Yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, but some people are just getting together with just their
Mhm.
families like normal,
Mhm.
for Thanksgiving, because you got people that are feeling like, what did you just say? My parents are getting older, whoever's getting, and we need to maybe all see each other. I know they
Sure.
were expecting the counts to go up after Thanksgiving, but it's happened before, which is interesting, because you just don't know with this pandemic what's going to happen. And Debbie Miller says not all family will be together this year. Yep, that's us too. And like I
Yes.
said, God willing, I think I might get all 4 of my kids together this weekend, but I think we have to wear masks and, all kinds of things because my daughter-in-law's pregnant. And so
Extra precautions there, yes.
So we're just trying to get smaller group together. And you were saying that your family, I've had friends that have gotten the virus and associates and business owners that I know. But I hadn't been around them when they caught it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah, but it's definitely going to be different. And you got to be careful, that you got to find out what does that mean to be different, right?
Yes.
Like having a Thanksgiving party on Zoom. I told you Zoom is doing like 3 days.
Sure.
With the free membership, you still can, be on more than 40 minutes. And I know one of my friends has fun with her kids. She has 5 kids, and then 3 of them are married, and they like to all get on. I think it's FaceTime or whatever at the same time and things.
Yes. It's not the same. No, it's not the same. But there's still a connection there. And that's where we have to really look as far as the connection. How do we still remain connected yet far apart?
So Linda just said that immediate family, no friends, total of 9 from 12. So yeah, hers is going down in numbers as well. I think for my birthday's in the fall. The weather was beautiful the day I decided to have friends over. I only had 12 people here. I don't know how to have more, only 12. Anybody knows me knows I have 20, 25 people over here. And because of the pandemic, I was only allowed, right? I mean, that's all you really.
Sure.
And some of that, even me as an extrovert, some of that has been nice, right? Sometimes it's nice to have the 12 instead of 9, but how much one-on-one? I think, Terry Ann, you were saying you're going to do a lot of one-on-one Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I know I got to talk with people a little bit more, sometimes you get to see some of those people a little bit more. Because I've told my husband I miss seeing some of my extended friends, right? When you get together. I know just recently my birthday is in September, so I had seen a couple of my friends, and then I hadn't had anybody over or seen any of my friends. And so just last Saturday, we got together with 5 of our very close friends, but that was it. But sometimes that's nice is what I'm saying.
You get more intimate conversations now when you have the big family gatherings. You do end up at kind of little pockets of people talking.
Somebody said, I miss hugs. That I think has been my biggest.
I miss hugs, yes.
And I feel like my poor children and my poor husband have to get more. But what about the people that are by themselves, right? What are the people that
Yes, what are they doing?
Who's Facebook user? That's the problem. You don't know who Facebook user is. But yes, a lot of people. Oh, Ryan Nelson says that's Facebook user, says that he misses hugs.
Yes, I do miss the hugs. That was the great thing about having small group every week.
So I ran to
we had hugs. I miss that. You had what?
Oh, do you guys do small group online though on Zoom now?
Now we do it online, and the hugs just are not the same.
No, we're having the same problem, right? With Taste of Success, it's not as fun because we don't get to eat together and socialize as much. I ran to the dollar store, and I'm trying to be really, really careful so that I can see my son. And I ran into a dear friend of mine from church, a single gentleman, and I always give him a hug. And then he asked me for a hug, and I had to say, I'm really trying to stay away from people because, and you know how hard that is, right? Especially when you're a hugger and you know that person really probably needs a hug. I think I ended up giving, I don't know, a little bit of a hug. But the point is, it's so hard, like you said, not to give hugs. So,
Yes.
yeah. And then Stephanie said that she really, really misses hugs too. And Stephanie, we can't see who you are, but I can see on my, can't see Inspired Coffee with Sherry, but I'm not seeing people on if you don't accept that we can see your name. And that's Stephanie yeah. That's our Toastmaster friend, Stephanie. And that's really, really hard because we also, like I said, Toastmasters, we used to get together, Taste of Success, right? And do hugs and all that. We're actually getting together. We're actually getting together on Friday. I won't be there because I have family coming in town, but
you can invite your family to the meeting.
Yeah, right. On Zoom.
On Zoom. That is one thing about Zoom. One thing I do like about things being virtual and all this is you don't have all the travel time. It's easy to get in there, meet, participate, and then you're home afterward. You don't have a half hour, hour-long drive.
Right now we're talking
like that.
Right now, to stay on topic, though, we're talking about how it's affecting Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
But even that, right? Are there uncles and aunts that wouldn't maybe be able to come in town at regular gathering that maybe you could invite?
Yes.
See, I don't know about you, but like I've even invited people to Toastmasters from other states. So right now, you know, those aunts, those uncles that are home by themselves, if you're having Zoom, you could invite them. She said, shh, I'm working. I'm giving a speech Friday. That's funny.
Oh, so don't mention her name. Okay, got it.
And that's too funny, right? But no, it is good that people can listen to us while they're at work and we can talk, you know, still make comments. And yeah, things are just going to be so different, right? They are. And you said you're going to multiple families?
Yes, I think we're going to do it multiple ways. I'm going to meet with my mother. I'm going to meet with my siblings. I'm going to meet with my children, but not all together.
See, and I haven't really seen my siblings in the middle of all this, which seems really crazy. Now I've seen my parents. Mom and dad just celebrated their 60th, and I had a couple of my siblings that were there, but I'm saying getting all the siblings together, right? Get all of the siblings all together over at mom and dad's is next to, I mean, we're a family. I have 5 brothers and sisters. Guess I only have 4 now because one of mine passed on. But the point is, and then they're all married, and then you got grandkids, and then you right? Mm-hmm. There's 35, 40 of us when we get together for Thanksgiving, and that's usually what we do. And this year, I don't think we'll be doing that. And I love that Debbie said a great idea to invite others on the Zoom. Now, at my house on Thanksgiving, we always just do it with my kids, but I also I've always invited people to Christmas and Thanksgiving that might not have somewhere else to go. And that's going to be another really hard thing is that I can't do that, right?
Sure.
And then I have a lot of single friends that come over quite often to eat, probably to get a hug, right?
They want that hug.
And I'm not been able to do that in the middle of all this.
Now, here's another thing. Looking ahead a little.
I heard that a third of Americans plan to spend $0 for Christmas this year. There's some hard realities that our generation has never had to deal with.
That is true.
Oh, that they don't have any money to spend.
Look how many people. Hey, my husband just lost his job.
Now we have one of my networking groups, we can't have our big Christmas party that we always, so
No party. Yeah.
we should have been sponsoring, and they say they have before, a family, but we're going to sponsor a family in need. And I think we forget what Thanksgiving and Christmas is about. It's
definitely
great
remember
to be
this.
with your loved ones. Reach out to your loved ones. Believe me, I call my friends. I call my single friends. I check on them. It's not like I forget my friends, right? Because friends are really important to me, and my family's very important to me. Yeah, I love how some have been having
Friend giving.
Yeah, I've seen that too going around, which is great. But what I'm trying to say is that yes, and I know what's her name is not on here right now. Why can't I think? Send out cards, but sending people cards.
Yes.
Sending flowers, all that important stuff people need, and to sponsor those needy families, like you say, that might not have food, and be able to do something for Christmas. I think it's really, really important to realize that's where I was going. And then I started reading comments, is that people have forgot what Thanksgiving and Christmas is about, right? Thanksgiving is about being thankful for what you have, like your health, your house. I mean, if we really start going down the gratitude that we can have, and it's about helping others and being there for others, right?
Sure.
And then if you're a Christian like me, Christmas is about our Savior being born and saving the world and all of that. But it's not about all those gifts. It's not about, right? One year, my family, we got ripped off on a house. So we had a house we couldn't live in, and we were living in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Praise God, we finally could move in that. We lived with family friends for 8 weeks. We had nowhere to live. It was awful. It was statue buttress mold. We had 4 kids. We had a newborn, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 13-year-old. But I remember that Christmas because we had nothing. We're trying to pay 2 house payment. I mean, we couldn't even figure out how to get a gallon of milk for the kids. It was bad. And it wasn't what we did. It was somebody ripped us off. And we stayed married through it and all. But I remember that morning when I sat down and I told the kids, Christmas is not about gifts. Christmas is not about, and we're still going to read Luke, right? And we're still, doing Christmas because it's about God and it's about giving and being thankful and remembering how I told them what Christmas was really about. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we get so, about the gifts, and that's great, but we get about the gifts and getting and the stuff, right? The food and that Thanksgiving we had nothing in our cupboard, right? I mean, and that's a lie. We had a little bit of something, and whatever you put together for Thanksgiving was our meal. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did that year. And I just remember because it broke my heart that year, but I remember what a lesson it was to my children, right? And so if we would go back to the basics, I guess, you know what I mean? And some of it's just perspective, right? Because I had my daughter turned blue twice from that house. She could have died. She spent the first 2 years in the hospital at Children's Mercy, major asthma, all kinds of problems. But you know what? I had my 4 kids and my husband, right? And we didn't have other, but we had that. So sometimes just looking at what's going on around us and seeing how maybe we can be some of this.
And sometimes it's looking at those hard times that we grow the most, that we learn to appreciate the most. It's through the hard times that a lot of times we will learn to appreciate the most. And then about another thing I was thinking about, an issue and even getting together they're talking about now is, how are you going to do your food? They don't want you to share utensils right now.
Nope.
How do you put all that food in the middle of the table? That's something I'd never thought of being an issue. So how do you work around? How do you get everybody, even if there's only 6 of you, how do you get the food?
Mm-hmm. And Kathy Weaver joined us, and she says, good morning. We can't see you on Streamline unless you accept, though, but I can see her on my.
Oh, you can see who she. Good. Well, welcome, Kathy. We're glad you're here.
And then we had somebody say that they're going to their son's house this year for Thanksgiving, which is great. And
small gatherings.
But I don't know. Are people doing that where they're going to use utensils and things? I don't know. It's an interesting, right, dilemma this year.
One thing I see the difference between the big family gatherings and now the smaller ones, even though there might have been 25, 30 of us in my grandfather's house. Do you know there were times that I left the house afterward and there were people I still didn't speak to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be one thing I think that's going to be different, and a good thing. With the smaller gatherings, you're going to have more of those intimate conversations that you don't necessarily have in the big group. Or even if the big group, it might have been a hi, how are you? Oh, isn't the weather good? Now the conversation is going to be more about, so how is your family doing? How are you guys holding up through all this? So there's a few changes going on there that I can see some benefits to.
And I don't want anybody to spend Thanksgiving by themselves. There's no reason, right, that we're eating by ourselves or spending time by ourselves. Like I said, you can Zoom, you can, right? If you feel you can't, because you can't get out of the house because of the pandemic or whatever, you still need to find ways to connect with others, right? I just think that's so important. So,
I think we're learning a lot about connection and caring more for each other this year than before. So we're able to change the focus back to what Thanksgiving is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep a gratitude journal?
Huh?
Do you keep a gratitude journal or a thankful journal?
I do. And I do. But I also go a little bit further than that, okay? I have bad days. We all do. And I even tell my clients this. It's okay to brain dump. And I call them Dear God letters. That's what I call them. God knows what I'm thinking. Anyway, having a bad day and my husband's driving me nuts, or I'm frustrated because I can't see my friends, or whatever the deal is, right? Brain dump all of that. And then when you go back and read it, of course, use the Serenity Prayer, I always tell people. But you can turn a lot of them into praise and thanksgiving, right? Like last time I went through a lockdown, what was it, about 6 weeks? My children were here all the time. My house ended up being a mess. And my kids maybe they were spending a little bit. Well, they were living together too. They were living at another house and then coming over here. They're only a mile from me or whatever. And, I started realizing that be thankful that you get to spend that time together, even when that person's driving you nuts or whatever's going on, right? So the things that you find out that are frustrating you, a lot of times you can turn them into, most generally you can turn them into blessings, right? Like what you talked about. Well, and I talked about earlier. Right now we're doing smaller gatherings, but I've gotten to know some people better. And I have a silly thing to tell you. And I know some people that are on here right now. I've been going to networking groups I don't usually go to. And I've gotten to know people better, right, through this because I get on Zoom with them, which seems crazy, but having a cup of coffee with somebody on Zoom, you can get to know them as well.
Definitely.
And I think, we end up with more time, right? Because like you said, we're not traveling, we're not chasing, there's things we can't do. I sometimes feel like maybe I'm not getting as much time, but we only have the same amount of time, right? But I'm just saying that you got more time. Well, and why don't you reach out to the person? Like I was saying, I always have my single friends or people that have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving and stuff. And I've been reaching out to them, but even bringing that up, I'm going, can you do more of that? Right. And can you say, hey, Terry Ann, you want to have dinner on Zoom at 6 o'clock on Friday, and we can still get together. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now I am thankful for something. This is our 10th episode.
I know.
Isn't that? And I want to thank you for helping me to step out of my comfort zone. And this is number 10. Number 11 takes place the day before Thanksgiving. So how about if we just have an informal, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? How about sharing some Thanksgiving recipes, new traditions, old traditions, things that we look forward towards next year? Let's just have an informal, and we want everyone to join us. Come with your favorite Thanksgiving recipes, traditions, whatever.
And come with what you're thankful for.
And thankful.
Yeah, we got to make sure we do that. We even talked
Oh,
about
definitely. We want to be thankful.
And I want to end one more time. Somebody said keep sanitizer on the table and use it before you touch the utensils, which is a good thing too.
Keep the sanitizer out and have a good Thanksgiving.
We are running out of time, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week when we get to talk about Thanksgiving, what we're thankful for, some of our traditions, things like that. So we will see everybody the day before Thanksgiving next Wednesday. Can you believe it? It's already going to be Thanksgiving. That's crazy. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.